Hello, everyone, and welcome back. You're listening to Daily C1 English Vocabulary. My name is Emma.
And my name is Tom.
In today's episode, we're reviewing the phrasal verbs from days 1 and 2 of our new Phrasal Verbs learning series.
These verbs are super common in professional English. They'll help you express yourself clearly and confidently when discussing ideas, sharing updates, or leading discussions at work. We'll show how to use them in real situations and compare them with close alternatives.
So let's get started with our first one, kickoff. It means to start or begin something, especially an event, meeting, or activity. In business English, it's a very common and friendly way to talk about the start of something organized. It carries an energetic or somewhat informal tone, which is perfect for opening a meeting.
For example, let's kick off the meeting with a brief introduction. Let's kick off with a quick update from the marketing team. Or, the project kicked off last month and is already showing great results.
The noun form is also very popular. A kickoff meeting is the very first meeting to launch a new project or initiative. For instance, the kickoff went well, meaning the start of the meeting or event was successful.
You can compare it with start or launch. Start is neutral and can be used anywhere. Launch is more formal and used for products or initiatives. But kickoff adds a lively, human tone. It sounds more like people coming together to begin something.
So instead of saying, let's start the meeting, you can say, let's kick off the meeting, and it will sound more engaging and natural.
Let's also compare it with two similar verbs, lead off and get started. Lead off means to be the first to begin or to start an activity or discussion. For example, Tom will lead off the meeting by presenting the agenda. It focuses on who starts something.
Get started is even more casual and focuses on the action itself. Let's get started means let's begin doing it, like let's get started so we don't run out of time.
But kickoff adds a bit more excitement and team energy. It's great when you want to motivate people.
That's it for kickoff. Our next phrasal verb is catch up on. It is also very useful, especially in the corporate world.
First, catch up on can mean to share updates or progress, basically, to tell each other what's been happening. For example, let's catch up on the latest results. Or, let's have a meeting to catch up on the project status. It's similar to saying let's review or let's update each other, but catch up on sounds more conversational and natural, especially in team meetings.
Second, it can mean to get back into the loop after you've missed something. Maybe you were on vacation or busy with another project. For example, I need to catch up on what I missed while I was out. She spent the morning catching up on the latest project updates. Or, I need to catch up on my emails before the next call.
We also use catch up without on, usually when we mean to reconnect with someone and share news. In this case, catch up means to talk and exchange personal or work updates. It's similar to reconnect or check in with someone, but catch up feels warmer and more natural.
For example, let's catch up soon. Or, it was great catching up with you after so long. So in a business context, you might say, let's catch up later this week, meaning, let's have a short meeting or chat to see what's new.
To sum up, catch up on focuses on tasks, work, or information, while catch up without on is about people and conversations. Both are incredibly common in modern workplace English and will make your speech sound fluent and friendly.
Moving on. Our next phrasal verb is bring up. It means to mention or introduce a topic, idea, or issue for discussion. Something you want people to start thinking or talking about. It means you intentionally start talking about something important. Like, she brought up an interesting point during the discussion. Or, I'm glad you brought up the deadline issue. We should discuss it now before it's too late.
So whenever you bring something up, you're not just talking about it. You're starting that topic in the conversation. It's often used when you want to discuss something that hasn't been mentioned yet.
You can think of it as similar to raise. For example, she raised the question of timing. But raise is more formal and often used in writing, while bring up sounds more conversational and fits perfectly in team meetings or discussions. A second meaning of bring up is more personal. It means to raise or look after a child until they become an adult. For example, he was brought up by his grandparents, or she was brought up in Italy.
That's it for bring up. Our next phrasal verb is go over. Its main meaning is to examine, review, or check something carefully, usually a document, a set of figures, or a list of items.
Think of a team leader saying, "Let's go over the action items from the last meeting to make sure we haven't missed anything." It's about being thorough and ensuring alignment. Or, before we send the proposal to the client, let's go over the budget section one last time.
When you go over something, you're not just looking at it, you're checking details, clarifying ideas, or confirming accuracy. It's a very practical verb for discussions and teamwork.
It can also be used when explaining information to someone. For example, "Can you go over the new procedure with me?" That means walk me through it. Or, help me understand it step by step.
Let's compare it with look through. Look through means to scan or browse something quickly, usually without going into detail. For instance, I looked through the document means you read it briefly, not carefully. Go over, on the other hand, means a thorough, focused review. You're making sure everything is clear or correct.
You might say, "I've looked through the slides, but let's go over them together before the meeting." That combination sounds completely natural in business English.
Perfect example. So, whenever you want to discuss, verify, or clarify something in detail, especially as a team, go over is your go-to verb.
Our next phrasal verb is speak up. It means to say something openly and clearly, especially when you want to share your opinion, express concern, or make your voice heard.
In meetings, we often use it to encourage participation. For example, if you have any ideas, please speak up. Or, don't be afraid to speak up if something isn't clear. It's about being confident and taking part in the discussion.
That's right. Speak up can also mean to talk louder, like, "Could you speak up?" I can't hear you, but in professional contexts, it's more often used metaphorically to express your thoughts or opinions instead of staying silent.
It's closely related to words like express, share, or voice, but speak up sounds more active and direct. It's about showing initiative and confidence, not just saying something politely.
For example, you might say, "She finally spoke up about the issue everyone was ignoring," or "He spoke up during the meeting to defend his team." In both cases, it shows courage. You're standing up for something you believe in.
And if you compare it with speak out, there's a small difference. Speak out often means expressing your opinion publicly, especially about something controversial or important, like she spoke out against unfair treatment. Speak up is more everyday. It's about sharing your voice in a smaller group or workplace setting.
So speak out is for bigger social issues, while speak up is for meetings, teamwork, and personal confidence. So next time you're in a meeting and have an idea, don't hold back. Just speak up.
Our next phrasal verb is come up with. It means to think of or create an idea, plan, or solution, especially when something new or useful is needed.
In meetings, you'll hear it all the time. For example, "We need to come up with a better marketing strategy." Or, "She came up with a brilliant idea during the brainstorming session." It's about producing something from your own thinking, not just repeating what already exists.
You can compare it with verbs like invent, create, propose, and suggest. Invent is stronger and usually used for completely new things, like technologies or products. Create can refer to both physical and abstract things, like creating a design or a plan.
And propose or suggest are more formal. They focus on presenting the idea, not thinking of it. The difference is that come up with highlights the moment the idea appears in your mind.
That's why it's great for brainstorming sessions. You might say, let's come up with 3 possible titles, or can anyone come up with a quick fix? It sounds natural, spontaneous, and dynamic.
Another useful one is get across. It means to communicate an idea or message clearly so that people understand it.
In meetings, it's all about making sure your point is understood. For example, I tried to get my message across, but they didn't seem convinced. Or, she's great at getting complex ideas across in a simple way.
It's not just about speaking, it's about being understood. You can say something perfectly correct, but if it doesn't get across, people won't remember or act on it. So this phrase is often about communication skills, not just language.
You can compare it with verbs like convey, express, and clarify. Convey is more formal and focuses on transferring meaning. For example, he conveyed his ideas clearly. Express is about putting thoughts into words or emotions. Clarify means to make something clearer, often after confusion.
Get across combines all of that. It's natural, conversational, and focuses on the result, whether people truly got your point.
So, whenever you want to say that someone successfully communicated their idea, especially in a meeting, presentation, or discussion, get across is the perfect phrase to use.
Here's another very useful one, point out. It means to draw attention to something or make someone notice or understand a particular detail.
In meetings, you might say, I'd like to point out a few risks we haven't discussed yet, or she pointed out a mistake in the report. It's a polite but clear way to highlight something important.
You can compare it with verbs like mention, note, highlight, or emphasize. Mention is softer, just saying something briefly. Note is often used in formal writing. Highlight and emphasize sound stronger and show that something is especially important.
But point out is the perfect middle ground, neutral, natural, and polite. It works for drawing attention to details, issues, achievements. For example, I'd like to point out that our customer satisfaction score has improved.
So in short, point out helps you guide the conversation toward what matters most, whether it's a risk, a success, or a detail that others might have missed.
Now, let's talk about dive into. It means to start doing something with a lot of energy, focus, or enthusiasm, especially when you want to explore it in depth.
In meetings, you might hear, "Let's dive into the main topic," or "Before we dive into the numbers, let's quickly review our goals." It sounds dynamic, like you're about to really explore the subject.
It's similar to go deep into or explore, but dive into has a more energetic tone. It suggests jumping right in and getting fully involved.
You can also use it outside meetings. For example, she dove into the new project as soon as it started. Or, he likes to dive into research before making any decisions. In both cases, it means complete focus and engagement.
If we compare it with start or begin, dive into feels more enthusiastic. Start is neutral, begin is formal, but dive into adds a sense of curiosity and drive. You're eager to get involved. So when you want to sound motivated and proactive in a meeting, dive into is a great choice. It shows energy and focus without sounding too casual.
Let's finish with one more useful phrase. Touch on. It means to mention or discuss something briefly, usually without going into much detail. In meetings, it's often used when you want to cover a topic quickly. For example, "We'll just touch on the budget today." Or, "She touched on a few challenges, but saved the details for later."
You are signaling that the topic is relevant, but it won't be the main focus of the current discussion. It's a way to keep the meeting efficient. Like, the CEO only touched on the budget cuts in his speech, suggesting more details will follow next week.
It's especially common at the start or end of meetings, when you're summarizing or moving between topics. For instance, "Before we wrap up, let's touch on the client feedback."
So, when you want to sound clear and organized, giving attention to a topic without going too deep, touch on is the perfect expression.
And that's it for today's episode. We've gone through 10 powerful phrasal verbs you can use in meetings: kick off, catch up on, bring up, go over, speak up, come up with, get across, point out, dive into, and touch on.
Each of them helps you sound more natural, confident, and fluent when discussing ideas, sharing updates, or leading conversations at work. The more you apply them, the faster they'll become part of your active vocabulary.
Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode.